my name's Allie, and I'd love to be your friendly mystic today. Before we get started, I just want to say a couple things about my tarot readings in general. They are timeless, so I don't get caught up on the month they're being posted for, the year they're being posted for. You will find a reading when you're meant to find it. Some people do find it helpful to think about it as for the month, but I don't set the intention that way. So just take it if it's resonating, regardless of what time period it's being posted in and what time period you find it. The readings are also general, meaning I can't read into detail for you specifically, and I cannot read for every single Pisces placement at once. So I set the intention for these readings to be for the people who need them most, so that they can get the messages that they need from me. So if it's not resonating with you, if it's not clicking, doesn't seem to make sense, then it's not for you. I also want to add that my readings are not meant to, how do I say this? My tarot readings in general, is my understanding of tarot readings, and any guidance that you receive from somebody else is not meant to tell you something that you don't already know. And maybe consciously you're not aware of this, but it's more about confirmation than a sudden revelation of new information. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. I won't be telling you anything. If something doesn't click, then it's not meant for you at this time. It's not meant for you at all. It's just it's meant for whoever it. Basically, if the reading is working for you and it's clicking, even if maybe it's not necessarily pleasant, because maybe sometimes you don't want to hear a message, but there's a part of you that already knows, then that reading is for you when you find it. So I don't want to take too much time. I'm trying to keep my intros a little shorter because they tend to get lengthy. I just like to put the disclaimer up front because I know not everybody is either familiar with YouTube tarot readings or doesn't necessarily know how to go about it in interpretation. I am planning on creating just a general YouTube video about how to interpret readings as a viewer. But yeah, let's get started. I'm going to pick your tarot decks, and then we'll get right into the spread. Alright, Pisces, I have your tarot and your oracle deck picked out for you. I usually pick two, but for some reason we only needed one today. Maybe Spirit is just waiting for the time for me to pick it. But we are going to do your main spread using the Gaian tarot deck. I have links in the description if you are interested in any of these decks. You'll see the artwork as I show it to you during the reading. And I also have chosen the animal medicine cards that I got as a gift from one of my lovely friends. And that I usually pick those oracle cards at the end of a reading to kind of give advice. Yeah, just to really give advice and some ways of approaching your situation that Spirit wants you to know. But let's get started. All right, Pisces, what's going on? Let's just set the intention. Whatever comes through is meant to come through. All right. Spirit guides, guardian angels, benevolent ancestors, God, as I know it. Please help me to connect with the collective of Pisces and communicate the messages in their highest good for those that need it. Spirit guides, guardian angels, benevolent ancestors, God, as I know it. I'll just say source. That sounds more elegant, huh? Please help me to connect with the collective of Pisces and communicate the messages in their highest good for those that need it. Spirit guides, guardian angels, benevolent ancestors, source. Please help me to connect with the collective of Pisces and communicate the messages in their highest good. spirit guides, guardian angels, benevolent ancestors, please help me to connect with the collective of Pisces, communicate the messages in their highest good. Cut that there, I guess. We're just going to lay out the 3 cards. Okay. Wow. Okay. Someone's really fired up. All cards I chose were fire. Very interesting for Pisces. Unusual. Oh, that's not where that goes. But we have all of them also came up, right? So I feel like there's a, excuse me, maybe an overabundance of, maybe an overabundance of energy. A lot of fire is indicative of that. But also, I feel like the way you're going about this is very balanced. So let's start with the 9 of fire. Yeah, I definitely get the sense of balance in this meditating figure. Really channeling something big for yourself. And then the 3 of fire. I feel this sense of, because you're in this sense of, because you're balancing your spirit and your energy so well, you're being able to channel it in a way that others can see, and it's bringing a confidence to you that may be unusual, or maybe, no, not unusual, that's not the word, because I want to say it's unusual for you to be confident per se, but I think that it's being aligned with source is giving you a sense of confidence that is potentially new to you, and it's really giving you the gusto to execute whatever, basically to go after what it is that you're wanting. Wow, that's awesome, Pisces. Interesting. Let's keep pulling cards. It's just really balanced, really, it's interesting because it's not necessarily your element, because Pisces is, a water sign, and we're getting all of this fire on the board, or on the table and the spread. It's really strange, I think, to me, almost. It's, I feel like there's this sense of really getting into your fire, your fire energy, as opposed to staying in a sort of watery. You're finding a masculine aspect that is new to you, is kind of how I want to say it. Let's see, what else wants to come out? I feel like you're also putting it to really good use. This is interesting, but what are we trying to do with it? There's some sort of job. I'm getting job interview, or like, just goal. Is it really goal oriented? So yeah, it seems like now's a great time, to me, that you're just really getting into it. Let's see, let's pull 2 more. Sun and the Priestess. Interesting. Now the sun came up in reverse, in between the 3 of fire and the 9 of fire. So maybe there's still some sort of illumination, or I'm getting rising sun, actually, so so it's not at its peak yet. And I think you're feeling really great, but there's still something that's to be illuminated in regards to whatever it is that you are seeking to do. I feel like if you're, especially in this energy, this is a really great time to just, I'm getting Chariot vibes, like to get in the hot seat and to push towards that goal. We also pulled the Priestess upright between the 3 of fire and the Explorer of fire, which in the Gaian Tarot is the Knight of fire. I get like front center stage kind of performance, and also a sense of like sacred rites, maybe a sort of maybe there's not. I'm like getting the idea of like a coven and an initiation sort of came into place, but this might not necessarily be so literal. You might be entering a coven of some sort, but it feels like you are performing a sacred rite. You're going through some sort of rite of passage, is the word I want to say, and I'm feeling like that there might be an elder of some kind or a guider. That's a terrible word, but there might be a person who's really helping you achieve or to that guides you along this path. That's awesome, Pisces. I feel like maybe we don't need clarification because like you're just doing great, and it's really nice to see when that happens. I'm gonna pull one more card, I think. This deck really likes to be in these balanced spreads. It's gonna be the central card. But yeah, definitely take time to meditate. I was also attracted just now to the spiraling or the weaving motion of the energy going through these chakras. So potentially there's this, and like because it's so much energy and fire energy, which is closest to spirit, um, as far as the elemental, uh, I don't want to say hierarchy, but you know the way fire reaches up. So fire is often thought of as the energy that is closest to or most aligned with spirit. So you might be going through a Kundalini awakening, which is super awesome. I'm way happy for you, and it could be because of some sort of spiritual understanding. Well, I think that's kind of goes with the territory. Um, but sort of some sort of you're basically in intuition, and it's kind of like it feels like a new connection. You've taken the time to become a clear channel, to take it out blocks and resistances within yourself, which like I'm getting. There's like a story with these three fire cards coming through. The nine of fire being this restful, peaceful acceptance, a clearing of the channel so that your energy can come through. The three of fire, really the budding of that energy, so maybe the explorer fire, which is kind of like the full motion and momentum of that energy, which is kind of the chariot energy, the chariot vibe I was getting earlier. And then the sun in reverse being about how it's in a rising state right now. It's not, as opposed to the sun upright, which would be like high noon, full culmination, the highest point to seek. So I'm getting that this is, there's still more sky to climb almost. But let me pull one more card just to go through that. That's interesting. I might pull a deck just to get some more maybe details along the lines of that. Interesting. Yeah, the three of fire here. I'll show you the art. The three of fire here almost feels coy in relation to this. This feels kind of like going from an initiate in a coven to becoming like some sort of priestess or a sort of like a higher rank, which is also I think why I was getting some like interview vibes or like promotion vibes almost. This is interesting. So this could be within the workspace, maybe your Pisces placement, which is Sun, Moon, or Rising. You forgot to mention that. Might be in the 10th house, potentially, if it's about career. That's interesting. Well, it couldn't be a rising sign in the 10th house, let's say that. It could be your sun or your moon. But yeah. Really getting comfortable and at peace in fire. At peace in fire. Which I think is a huge task for you. But let's pull another card and see. Let's see. I do think that something is being illuminated for sure. The rising sun, and then the priestess kind of revealing something to pulling back the veil, which kind of brings you from that 3 of fire, like confidence into the actual, like it almost feels like these two people are the same, but I think that initiate to like a higher rank individual, not necessarily like a priestess. It could be you going from an initiate into a priestess, and really finding that for yourself. But drop that. But yeah, pull one more card. 5 of Earth reverse, and I think a lot of this is about getting out of a lack mentality, or it does seem like this is because, especially with the 9 of fire, which is the 9 of not pentacles, could lead to the 9 of pentacles in this, the way that this is feeling, but the 9 of wands. So in the traditional Rider-Waite, that is like a beaten down soldier who is, standing by the 9 wands, basically ready for another attack, but very worn as it is. This feels like peace in sort of a very high energy, high stress situation, and finding balance in that, and acceptance. So this might be bringing you out of either you're coming at this, if you're already in a sort of very, here, I'll put this upright so you can kind of make out the image, but it's a child, could be an adult, in this like shack in a like a storm, really you've probably weathered a storm recently and are coming out of that by finding peace in the storm and in and of itself. So yeah, and potentially getting out of it's like getting out of survival mode. That's amazing. That's wonderful, Pisces. I'm feeling like I just want to draw more cards for you. Let's see what comes out. But getting out of survival mode's huge. Weathering a storm that you did just have to straight up survive. And not allowing it to essentially pull you out of. Or, because like when I feel like if you go through a difficult time period, if you go through a high stress situation and there's a lot of lack, a lot of loss involved, it can kind of get in the way. Ooh, I'm not sure if I'll pull that. It can get in the way or make you feel like certain things are not possible for you any longer, or kind of really dampen your self-confidence, which I'm not seeing happening. I feel I feel somebody who's just attacking it head on. It's wonderful. And still has, and still is working towards that culmination, that high point. Man. This could also be, oh, okay, that's weird. 10 of air. Yeah, this card was a jumper. There's something wistful. Yeah, I'll show you the card. Something very wistful and longing. And it came out next to the Five of Earth. So there may be this sudden, or this new sense of like found confidence and found trust in source, and clearing of the energetic body, has come after a major loss in your life. And I think there's some desire to go back, like to regain what was lost, or potentially still need to mull over and come to some acceptance point. If there's anything that's in between, if I'm feeling as though either like that you're in the Three of Fires stage, so you're in that initiate stage, and will, with some guidance, progress to that, to that priestess point, to that standing in your own power, able to wield it expertly. When that past and the mulling over of that past and the processing of what happened is done. So if you and I feel because of this excess fire energy, there's this desire to just like, oh, why can't I get past this? So why am I not there yet? I'm pushing so hard. It's because there's still, the universe has its own timing. And if you trust in that, then it will just come. It'll come when it's meant to come. There's really no way to like bypass the processing of pain. And a lot of this is going to be through thought. I would also suggest journaling of some kind. But the more that you neglect to actually go through that processing, the longer it will take you to reach the culmination of the goal you were seeking. And to find the skillfulness, I don't know if skillfulness is the right word, but that ability to wield your energy expertly, will take longer to reach. But trusting in the process seems to be a big one there. But I think now I'll pull some of these. It's very interesting, Pisces. I'm like way happy for you. Especially those of you who are going through a Kundalini awakening. It might feel very overwhelming. But I think if you're in that sort of overwhelming stage, there should be a person, or some sort of, maybe even a spirit guide, potentially, some sort of guiding figure, whether physical or not, can help you through that. So if you're not able to be in touch, or you don't have that person like physically, then that energy is present for you through spirit. So reaching out to ancestors might be something you should look into. Trying to communicate with spirit guides would be an interesting one. But I'm going to pull some animal medicine cards. Excuse me. That could also give you some guidance. Let's see. What advice what advice do you have for Pisces in this spread? What advice do you have for Pisces in this spread? What advice do you have for Pisces in this spread? Okay. Beaver and horse, both in reverse. So horse is, I'll show you. I really like the art. It did come up in reverse, so I think there's a feeling of, horse is about freedom and individual power. to accomplish, to reach, to not be held down. But I do sense that like urgency to move forward and to just power through. Like I'm hearing horsepower, but like to power through. Like you're like, I'm just a rising sun. I want to be that full, beautiful, high noon, illuminate everything sun. But there needs to be a time and a place. Well, more like a time. You're in the right place. That's what I'm getting. You're in the right place, at least energetically speaking. So if you're feeling like you're not far along enough, or there's that sense of like I need to work harder, I need to do more, chill out. There needs to be some sort of trust in the. You need to trust the process, and it will come through for you in the way that it's meant to. And then we have Beaver in reverse as well, which is kind of to me that that very hard working, diligent, just ability to create and manifest what it is that you're looking for. I'll show you Beaver as well. These cards all look very similar. I'm seeing a 22, which is a Master Builder, which is a great card which is a great number for Beaver. But yeah, I think they both show up in reverse because the energy is there's that abundance of fire energy that is having a hard time finding the outlet, or finding like it's almost like I'm doing all the right things. Why hasn't this happened for me yet? Do I just need to do more? Build faster? But the beaver doesn't cut corners, or it's really about a steady pace, a steady climb, so that the foundations of whatever you build are rock solid. So trust that you're just building the foundation, and you can't have it all at once. I'm going to pull one more card, and while I do that, I'm so honored and privileged to read for you, Pisces. If you liked the reading so far, I would love to hear about it from you. If you'd leave a comment for me, that'd be great. As well as if you're vibing with me as a reader, then I would invite you to subscribe, hit the little bell notification, because YouTube doesn't like to tell you about videos from your subscribed channels all the time. But and if you'd like to return the energy of this reading, because I feel like that's what tarot is about, is an exchange of energy, just hit the little like button. But yeah, I'm also available for personal readings. There will be a link in the description to my website, friendlymystic.com, or you can email me at hitmeup@friendlymystic.com. But yeah, let's pick a card. Dog. 14, breaking down to a 5. Horse broke down to an 8, by the way, which is very much a success-driven, like achieving, kind of cutthroat almost number. But dog came out upright. And dog is all about like loyalty, fidelity, and it's in the center of the spread. I'm feeling like this is about a trust and a loyalty to the process, and a trust and a loyalty to source, almost. Like, as long as you stay a servant, or a what's the word? Not like a dog to source, but like I guess faithful servant is really the word. A friend of, a trusting in, source. It brings everything together. beautifully. All right. Thanks for watching, Pisces. It is wonderful to read for you, and I hope that this was helpful. But it seems like things are going really well for you. So just all I can say is just trust, and it comes through.